Hi everybody, we are doing a special video today. It is Tommy's birthday, so happy birthday little Tommy.
Happy birthday.
He is 1 year old today. Well, not today, at the time we're filming this. His birthday is tomorrow, but this will be releasing on his birthday. And it's actually our second time around filming this. We filmed it the other day, but I'm a dum-dum, and I edited the whole video, and literally as I was uploading it to YouTube, I deleted it. Just don't ask me how or why I did. I'm an idiot. Like I said, that's the explanation. I'm an idiot. So here we are doing it again. We're going to do a second run through of his birth story. And so, yeah, 1 year ago. Take us back, Sarah.
Yes.
How was Tommy born?
Yes. So for Thomas, we decided to have a birth center birth. We knew we wanted to have a natural birth, and to best facilitate that, we chose the birth center instead of the hospital route. We loved it, and we highly recommend it to anyone pregnant or looking to have a baby.
Yeah, birth center with a doula.
Yes.
Yep.
Two things.
Yep. Yeah. Very different than the traditional hospital birth route.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They support you through the whole process, and yeah, really can help you achieve that natural birth experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas was due February 16th. He was late. He was not coming on the 16th. And by February 18th, which was a Friday, we were kind of getting, not nervous, but just anxious for him, and started to, do more chiropractic visits and try to, coax him out a little more. Mm-hmm. So Friday night, I decided to do the Miles circuit, which is 3 different yoga positions, and they're about 30 minutes a piece for each position. And we heard good things about it, so we tried it. We went to bed shortly after that, and I woke up, I believe it was around midnight, to some contractions, some slight pressure that would just come and go, and I would just go back to sleep once I'd feel it. No biggie, okay, this could be the start of early labor. Let's try to get as much rest right now. And I think it was around 2 o'clock when I woke up Alex, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel them. I'm going back to sleep every time I feel them, so I don't really know the spacing of them. I'm like, let's just start timing them. So we got out our app and started timing them.
You don't have to tell me twice. That's one of those, I am not a get out of bed person.
No, not at 2 a.m.
At all, but I'm just like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. We're good.
So we started timing them, and we started realizing that they were 5 minutes apart. I thought they were an hour apart. Apparently not.
Well, when you're back to sleep, it's hard to know. Yeah.
So that's when we began packing up our bags, getting our car ready to go, and we started heading into town. We were 40 minutes away from the birth center, so our original plan was to get a hotel and labor there for most of the early labor until we were ready to go to the birth center. So we packed up, headed to our hotel. Getting a hotel at 4 a.m. on a Saturday was very hard.
Yep.
There was no one at the front desk for a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. So I was continuing having contractions while sitting in the truck waiting, while Alex was
trying to find somebody
running around the hotel trying to find the front desk lady.
We could have gone to a different hotel, but it was a little further away from the birth center, and we wanted to be just as close as we possibly could. And it's that mindset of I've already been here 20 minutes. If I leave and go to another hotel, I'm starting over. I'm going to continue to try to find somebody. So, yeah, you were in the truck just patiently waiting, and I was trying to find somebody.
Thankfully, I was really nervous, so my contractions kind of actually spaced out and weren't so intense. So I think that definitely helped having, not being in my comfort zone, because they weren't as bad being alone in the truck. So we got into the hotel room at kind of around 4 a.m., I would say. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, Alex kind of made the call that let's call the doula let's get her on her way to the hotel. I was hesitant. I was like, no, I got this. We're going to have hours of labor. I don't need her yet.
10 minutes of 5 minutes of just like contraction, you're just like, hold on, I'm going to be out of it for a minute. And then you'd come back and be like, no, I'm fine. I'd be like,
I'm good. Like, I got this.
Okay.
So Alex made that call, which I'm so thankful that he did, because we definitely did need her support by the time she got to the hotel, which was around 4:30.
That's going to be as close to I was right as I'm ever going to get. I have a feeling.
Right. The contractions were around 2 to 4 minutes apart, lasting for a full minute, so we're getting close. By 5 a.m., they were like 2 minutes apart and still lasting, that minute long. And kind of around 5:30, I started feeling that pressure, that very low, deep pressure where you're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, the baby is going very far down, and either I need to push out a baby or go poop. So that's when the doula was like, okay, we're heading to the birth center. So we literally drove around the block, which was very difficult to sit in a car and have that very deep pressure there. But yeah, we got to the birth center. They kind of at that point asked if I wanted a cervical check, and I was like, no, like, I'm pretty confident I know where I am. Like, we're getting close. Like, that's fine. And they're completely cool with that. So they were filling up the tub, when you kind of contact them and be like, hey, I have a laboring mom, we're going to be coming in soon. They already started filling up the tub for you. Tub. Yeah, a lot of hot water for it. And at that point, we still didn't really decide if we wanted to have a water birth for Thomas. So I was like, no, I don't want to get in the tub right now. I want to just keep walking around. Let's try the shower. So the nurses are like trying to get the shower to have hot water, but the hot water wasn't working. And I was like getting a little panicky of like, that's what I want. Like, it's not working out.
It's not going according to plan.
So at that moment, I'm like, okay, this is happening for a reason. The shower's not working. Like, God wants us to go into the tub. It was like a God moment where like you feel that calmness go over you, like, just get in the tub. It'll
just go with the flow.
Yes, it'll be so much smoother. So we did. Alex even came in, which
brought my bathing suit.
Great to have that support, because that was kind of my.
They all told me they didn't want me naked in the tub.
Yes, no husbands naked in the tub.
So I had to bring my bathing suit.
Yes, went swimming. Yeah, so we got in the tub around 6 a.m. and literally the next contraction in the tub, my water ruptured, which I never had that experience with Ben. They manually, ruptured my water. So naturally feeling my water rupture was amazing. I actually kind of thought that pressure was the baby being born, but it wasn't.
It was so quick. Just going from Benny, where it was like 24 hours between labor start to he's here, we were, like you say, 6 a.m. We were like 3 hours in from waking up in the middle of the night, we're having contractions, to water's breaking, we're starting active labor and pushing. Like 3 hours, like, holy cow, that was, it was so fast.
Right, and that's kind of expected with your second.
With your second and being in the warm tub like that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, the warm tub definitely made everything just speed up.
Yeah.
Especially like within 1 to 2 contractions, my water rupturing, and then right after my water ruptured, the next contraction was actually the contraction to start pushing. It kind of when that point comes, it kind of switches over into, they're not painful contractions, they're just a contraction where you feel like you just have to push. So, and then they spaced out. So we had a good 5 to 8 minutes between the pushing contractions, which was great because we were just chilling in the tub, talking for 5-10 minutes.
Having drinks. No, I'm kidding.
Right. And then you feel the contraction, you push for however long you want. It's called we did spontaneous pushing. So whenever you feel that contraction, you just push for however long you want. And I loved that versus the hospital setting where you're up on your back and the nurses
telling
tell
you to
you
push,
when
yeah.
to push, and you don't feel
It's
when
very
why you need
separate
to
from the
push.
way your body's working at the moment, at the time. I mean, they do kind of. I remember when Ben was born, they were watching. They could see the contractions
They watched
coming.
the monitors, but I couldn't feel the contractions.
Yeah, they were going based on the monitors, which was monitoring your muscles. Yeah, but it's
But
just a very different.
not how I
yeah,
could feel it, right?
You weren't listening to your body. You were listening to the machine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see, I'm looking at my notes. So we pushed for a good 40 minutes, on and off for that, 5 to 10 minutes, the break in there. And then at 7:31, Thomas's head was born first.
As it usually is.
Yes, unless it's breached,
Unless
but.
it is,
But his head was born, and then I couldn't get the rest of his body out with that contraction. And they were totally fine with it because he was a water birth, so he was still in the fluids.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd.
It was kind of freaky. I was not expecting it.
His head's sticking out, but
His
he's
head's
like underwater.
jerking
Is he
out.
okay?
I'm not having a contraction to push, so we were kind of in this limbo of like, what do we do? And the midwives and doulas were, very reassuring, like, this is normal, this is fine, like, just embrace it, like, feel the next contraction coming. So we waited, 2-3 minutes, and at 7:33, then they say time of birth was when his whole body came out. He was able to, like, during those 2 minutes, flip his whole body around, is however babies do it,
Yeah,
and
he went
then
from.
and it was so cool. Like, you could see him kicking around. It was crazy.
It was something. What just amazed me was like the fact that his head was out and he was like underwater the whole time for several minutes, because he's technically underwater when he's inside you also. So it's like it's just amazing how like you'd think he's like breathing that in,
Right.
which he kind of is, but he's not, and he was just fine under the water, even though he was like born in the water, he was still just fine.
Yeah.
And it's not until he like comes out of the water where it's like he has a breath, and it's like, whoa! It just that just blows my mind the way
Yeah.
that works. It really does.
Yes. So his birth stats are: he was born February 19th, 2022. Time of birth was 7:33 a.m. He was 8 pounds 13 ounces. He was 21 3/4 of an inch
So
tall.
go ahead, and then
And then his head circumference was 13.5 inches.
diameter. No.
Circumference.
No, so because I've edited this video already, when I looked at the photo, and it's going to be on screen now, when Tommy's laying there and we have all of his stats written out, it's 20.75 inches, and that says 21. So I don't know which one is more. I feel like 20.75 is accurate. We would have, because like that would have been based on the record that they gave us,
Right.
as opposed to this is like a note that somebody took that as they were in the room.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know that 21.75.
Well, we'll have to do some digging now.
I think 20.75 is accurate based on what we had written down at the time. And I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
I don't
somewhere.
know.
Like, yeah, it's somewhere.
After giving birth, you soak up all the cuddles, but at this birth center, they do not allow you to birth the placenta in the tub. So within a few minutes, 5 minutes probably it was, they kind of say, okay, head to the bed. So you pick up yourself and your baby.
Pick up the pieces.
The baby that's still attached from inside.
Yeah.
And head to the bed, which was, the
That's
support
nuts.
team is all there to help you through all of that because your body is depleted and
I wasn't even ready to walk.
exhausted. I know, it was a little scary at the time.
Well, like literally the way we were sitting in the tub is I was sitting and then you were kind of like down lower, like on my legs the whole time for an hour and a half. So I'm like, I can't even get up. Like my butt is raw. And so that, like the fact that they had you stand up and walk, it was like, wow, that's amazing. Just
Yes,
crazy.
a very short distance though.
But it is definitely not the most
Gracious.
gracious or warm and fuzzy thing to be like soaking wet coming out of a tub and then just go like lay in bed right away. It was very like
They
just
had
lay on some
warm
towels,
They had
and then
warm
they
towels
they
and
change everything.
blankets.
Yeah, but
Yes,
I remember
it
just
was
being very
fun.
like, I
You
remember just
were
being
in a
like,
sweatsuit. I know. You were in a wetsuit. I was fully,
well, I had my
naked.
bathing suit
and-
on, but I remember standing there like you were the center of attention. I'm just like soaked. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Like, can I get changed?
I
yet?
remember being like, can I like scoot in with you because it's nice and warm?
Oh, yes.
Can I go?
How the
like, should I
men
go get changed?
remember the birth.
Yeah, it's fun because like all their focus is on you, and I'm just like,
You're just all
like
wet.
I need a minute. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so at the birth center, they let you, shortly after that, the placenta comes. They kind of, like no Pitocin to get the, placenta out. Just kind of like, okay, let's start working on that. And, so that was birthed. And then they literally just put it in a Ziploc bag to keep it attached to the baby for as long as possible to get all the cord blood into the baby, which is kind of great. No, which is really great. And then, yeah, they really recognize like the golden hour and just soak in all those snuggles, get to breastfeeding as soon as possible or when you're feeling ready for it. So we did that, which was great. And then after that, we kind of just did the normal exam of the newborn, just right on bed, right, by our legs. And that was great. Right after that, then we got breakfast and homemade bread.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I blanked for a second. Yeah, when we got there to the birth center at like 4 a.m., that's something they do specifically at that one is like they start a batch of homemade bread once you get there. They have bread makers in their little like kitchenette area. And so literally like, yeah, once you get there and you're in labor, they have somebody go like start making bread for you. And once the baby arrives, you can just like have some bread with butter on it. And that was a nice snack. And then we had breakfast after that. Our doula bought us breakfast. So Madison, if you're watching this, thank you for the
Thank you.
IHOP. I still remember the steak tips and eggs and pancakes. It was
Yes.
very good. It was very much needed at the time because
For sure.
it's such a, I don't want to say traumatic because that's the wrong word, but it's such an adrenaline rush for hours on end.
Right.
And you're like, I've been awake for 7 hours. I don't even know what day or time it is. Like, I need to eat because, like, when you just have that rest and just
Everything's
everybody
okay,
snuggle and everybody
everyone's
you're just
good,
like,
yeah.
I am hungry.
Yeah.
So yes, the IHOP was appreciated. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so shortly after that, then they make you kind of walk to the bathroom as best as you can. I had a more difficulty time with that. I was very feeling faint, so we just ate more food, tried to get more liquids in me, and then we were finally able to get up off of bed, go to the bathroom, shower. Yeah, and then you get back in bed. We continued breastfeeding, and kind of around then, they're kind of like, okay, you're good to go. Like, everything's checked out. So around noon, we left the birth center and we went back to our hotel room due to us living almost an hour away from a hospital or the birth center. We just wanted to be close by in case something were to occur that needed medical attention. So,
And then we had an appointment right away the next day also.
Yes.
Like, they have you a follow-up 24 hours later, in which, I mean, yeah, it was about 24 hours later. So it was like 8 a.m. the next day. We got to be back there. So we just wanted the chance to rest as much as we possibly could and not force everybody to be in the car for 2 hours on the first day. So,
right, yes.
if we could help it.
Yeah, so we went back there, and then around dinner time, Grandma brought Benjamin to the hotel room to
Yep.
meet Thomas for the first time.
Yep, Benny got to meet Tom, and that was really cute and fun to see their interaction.
Yeah.
And just for him to figure out and see his wheels spinning about what was going on.
What just happened, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then,
Yeah, we had the first checkup, which went pretty smoothly the next morning. And then we went home and got to start living our life as a family of 4.
yeah, that was crazy because we brought home Tom in his carrier, and it was amazing to just see like Benny's thought process around it. And, after so many hours, Benny was eventually like, kind of pointing to his carrier like, this guy needs to go. Like, it's time for him to to skedaddle.
Yeah.
They're like, no, dude, you're staying. That was a weird, like, we get it. It was weird for us too because we're like, now there's two of them, and how are we gonna juggle this? And they need to figure out how to get used to each other.
Yeah.
They figured it out real quick, and they became good buds. And I was gonna say over the years. It's only been a year. Over the months,
Yeah.
Thomas has been growing by leaps and bounds, and he's got Benjamin to keep up with for sure. And they get along, and they surely fight, but they're also buddies, and they love each other very much. And it's just cute to see them interact and grow and learn together. And here we are a year later. Tommy finally just started walking and keeping up with Benny. He's got teeth coming in. Tom's even starting to say a few words here and there and communicating in his own way. He's very much becoming a little toddler. Benny's teaching him very well how to be a toddler, and it's just adorable. So yeah, it was a good experience all around at the birth center, I would say.
Yes, highly recommend it, especially with a doula, and just to support everyone through the process. And
Yeah.
have the natural approach of how births should be, and yeah, listening to your body.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
10 out of 10 would do it again.
Right.
The experience that is the birth center experience. Yeah, no, it was great. Loved it. It's pretty much the story in a nutshell. It's pretty much how it went. Happy birthday, Tommy. We're excited to
Happy
celebrate your
birthday.
first birthday and see all that the next years have to bring. So
Yes.
happy birthday, bud. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below, like the video, join the conversation. We really want to talk with you and hear your story and get to know you and chat a little bit. So be sure to subscribe so you can see the next video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.